Welcome to Tzu Chi This week. I'm Terry Putz. Good to have you with us. Coming up in this week's top stories, Tzu Chi volunteers in Malaysia and Indonesia embrace Master Cheng Yen's dharma through the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. In Taiwan, we meet 89-year-old Hong-Lin Jinzhi to see how she works alongside her daughters on the Tzu Chi path. In the United States and China, Tzu Chi volunteers organize training seminars where attendees share their experiences with one another. First up in Taiwan, we meet Dalian Tzu Chi Hospital Dr. Xie Mingzhi, who has found peace of mind since taking part in the morning study group to embrace Master Cheng Yen's dharma and wisdom. But first, we go to Taidong's Taimali Township to join Tzu Chi volunteers and care recipients in the Buddha Day ceremony. Here at Taimali Township in Taidong, Tzu Chi volunteers have organized a Buddha Day ceremony with the participation of Tzu Chi care recipients. Celebrating the Buddha's birthday, Global Tzu Chi Day, and Mother's Day, volunteers also organize an activity for youngsters to express their thanks to their mothers. Miss Dai is paralyzed from waist down from a car accident. Thankfully, her daughter's academic achievement has given her hope.
It was a hard time. I thought she would have dropped out of school because of our family situation. I thought she would have failed her studies. Thank you so much, Tzu Chi.
To thank the volunteers for their 5 years of support, Miss Dai sings a song. Meanwhile, in Jiayi, as most of the world still sleeps, Xie Mingzhi is already up and ready for the morning study group. Attentively taking notes, Xie Mingzhi joined the morning study group to find peace of mind. His job left him so stressed that he had to rely on pills to get to sleep. Not until he encountered Master Cheng Yen's dharma did the doctor finally find peace of mind.
Sometimes at 1 or 2 in the morning, I would wake up in panic. Such worries and anxiety keeps troubling me during the day.
After taking the dharma to heart, Xie Mingzhi remembered his initial motivation to become a doctor.
After serving in the medical field for years, you find material gains like fame, money, and power irresistible. Thus, you will gradually lose yourself in chasing such desires.
After years of medical practices, Dr. Xie Mingzhi can sympathize with his patients' pain and suffering. And thanks to Master Cheng Yen's dharma, Dr. Xie is finding ways to cleanse his heart and return to the correct path. In our next report, we go to Malaysia's Bukit Matajang at Batu Pahat, where volunteers make it a point to watch the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast every day to take the dharma to heart. But first, we go to Indonesia's Jakarta, where volunteers overcome language barriers and long distances to attend the morning Dharma lecture at the local Jinzhi Hall.
4 o'clock in the morning, Tzu Chi volunteers are ready to begin their day by watching Master Cheng Yen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast at the Jinzhi Hall in Jakarta. Following their counterparts' footsteps by watching the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast, the first day of the campaign was attended by more than 130 volunteers.
Watching the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast in the morning helps us focus on the teachings Master Cheng Yen tries to pass on to us. It is different than watching life wisdom at home. The Dharma can purify our hearts and motivate us to inspire more people to join our ranks.
Despite the distance between their homes and the Jingsi Hall in Jakarta, many volunteers remain determined to attend the morning Dharma lecture.
Dharma yang Master ajarkan tuh benar-benar
The teachings passed on by Master Cheng Yen are close to our daily lives. After attending the morning Dharma study group, I have seen dramatic changes in my life. It has motivated me to continue my good affinity with the Master and the Buddha.
menjalin jodoh dengan Master dan menjalin jodoh dengan Dharma Buddha.
Although unfamiliar with the Chinese language, many volunteers say that by listening to the Master closely, they can still absorb the Dharma.
When I listen closely to the Master, I can understand about 50 to 60% of what she says. I think I am very lucky already.
If we decided not to attend the morning Dharma study group because of the language barrier, then we will be further away from the Master. We won't be able to absorb the Dharma and incorporate its wisdom into our daily lives. Although I don't understand Chinese, I still want to attend the morning session every day.
Meanwhile, in Malaysia's Bukit Mertajam, despite the early hour, volunteers are already chanting the Buddhist scripture at their local Tzu Chi liaison office. Recently, after the installation of a better internet connection, the number of people watching the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast has increased dramatically.
Before, we only had about 5 to 8 volunteers every day. Now we have more than 20 volunteers here every day watching the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast.
In the past, I would wake up in a hurry and rush to work. Now, every day, I will wake up early to watch the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast. Bit by bit, I have slowly taken the Dharma to heart.
Also waking up early every day to watch the Wisdom at Dawn broadcast are volunteers at the Tzu Chi liaison office in Batu Pahat.
I used to wake up around 7 a.m., but now I wake up at 4 a.m. every day. I think it is great to use those 3 hours to recharge myself and improve my spiritual life. This is a very rare opportunity.
The Master makes a point to pass on the Dharma to us, even when we are so far away. If we don't listen closely and take the Dharma to heart, then we will let her down.
Despite the distance between Master Cheng Yen and Tzu Chi volunteers across the globe, thanks to the help of modern technology, disciples can listen and absorb the Dharma with just a click of the mouse.
20 years ago, when sister pair Hong-Che and Hong-Meng started walking the Tzu Chi path, their mother Hong-Lin Jinzhi did not support their decision, as she felt that they would be neglecting their families when now doing Tzu Chi work. However, as time passed, Hong-Lin Jinzhi slowly changed her mind. Now the 89-year-old senior is not only a diligent recycling volunteer in Taiwan's Nantou County, but works alongside her daughters on the Tzu Chi path.
Tzu Chi volunteer Hong-Lin Jinzhi is 89, but age does not hinder her hands as she quickly sorts through the recyclables before her. Hong-Che says 20 years ago, when her mother first started coming to the recycling station, she never stayed long because the work didn't pay. However, after realizing recycling can benefit the next generation, her mother threw her heart into it.
After doing recycling, my health has gotten better. The more I do it, the healthier I became, so I keep at it.
She realized doing good deeds sows blessings for the next generation, and eventually she didn't care that Tzu Chi's work didn't pay.
Hong-Lin Jinzhi's 2 daughters, Hong-Che and Hong-Meng, are certified Tzu Chi commissioners, and even though the mother approves of them being in Tzu Chi now, at the beginning, Hong-Lin Jinzhi was disapproving of their commitment.
Leaving the children at home and going to do Tzu Chi, I thought they didn't have their heart in the right place. Now, if other volunteers ask them to join an event, I tell them, go, things at home can wait, don't worry about me.
The independent seniors' 2 daughters will often come over to cook meals and eat dinner together. Remembering her rebellious way when young, Hong-Meng now realized doing charity work alongside her mother is the best way to be filial.
We'll bring our mother along. or if our mom invites us to an event, we'll go. This way, we are doing good deeds and being filial. It's the best of both worlds.
Fulfilling filial duties by doing good deeds has strengthened this family's bond.
They are very diligent in walking the Tzu Chi path. Commitment to Tzu Chi is their commitment to me.
In Malaysia, for the past 7 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been spreading environmental messages at a Daibochi plastic and packaging company. Inspired by Tzu Chi's efforts to protect our planet, the company launched a monthly vegetarian lunch campaign to encourage its employees to go meatless. Meanwhile, in Singapore, Tzu Chi volunteers shared the NGO's 80-20 campaign at a seminar held at the National Singapore University.
According to statistics, more than 40,000 people died of starvation daily. However, in Singapore, more than 8 million kilograms of kitchen waste were produced last year. Tzu Chi volunteer Dai Ming Han, who is an environmental engineer, hopes to use these facts to encourage members of the public to embrace Tzu Chi's 80-20 campaign.
Something that is more practical, which is like maybe just try once a week or once a meal a day concept. Yeah.
Today, alumni of National University of Singapore's Environmental Management Programs, members of the Singapore Environmental Council, and volunteers from the Tzu Chi Foundation held a seminar to call on members of the public to safeguard our planet.
Master Cheng Yen actually urged all the people, why don't use your clapping hand to do something, to do environmental protection?
If we can find the source of the pollution and stop it, then we will not harm our planet, right? If we have a good waste management system right from the start, it will greatly decrease the amount of waste produced.
During the seminar, Tzu Chi volunteers also prepare vegetarian lunch boxes and reusable utensils to remind participants that protecting our planet can and should start with ourselves. Meanwhile, in Malaysia's Malacca, for the past 7 years, Tzu Chi volunteers have been bringing environmental concepts to the Daibochi plastic and packaging company.
We are here every year to pass on more environmental messages to the employees here. We hope they can incorporate these concepts into their daily lives.
Before, we didn't know much about recycling. Our company, however, has been bringing environmental ideals to us. All of us have gained tremendous joy by practicing recycling.
Upon learning how discarded batteries can affect humans and the environment, the company decided to recycle their unused batteries. Other than practicing recycling to safeguard the planet, the Daibochi Plastic and Packaging Company decided to provide free vegetarian lunch boxes to its employees once a month.
I think it is great that our company is encouraging us to go meatless once a month.
Vegetarianism is good for us because vegetables are good for our body.
Thanks to the efforts of the Daibochi Plastic and Packaging Company, more people have been inspired to go meatless as a way to safeguard our Mother Earth.
In China's Jiangsu, the Tzu Chi Suzhou grounds recently organized a volunteer training seminar attended by volunteers from across the country. Their participants seized the chance to share their stories with one another. Meanwhile, in the United States, the Tzu Chi Santa Rosa Liaison Office of Northern California also held a volunteer training seminar, giving participants an opportunity to experience Tzu Chi's truth, goodness, and beauty.
In front of the camera, these participants vow to follow in Master Cheng Yen's footsteps and walk the Tzu Chi path. At the second Tzu Chi Volunteer Training Seminar at the Santa Rosa Liaison Office, Northern California. 3 trainees are here to receive Tzu Chi's formal training. They are also joined by 19 other participants who want to experience Tzu Chi's humanitarian spirit. First-timer James Bowman is a retired social worker who was inspired by Tzu Chi's charitable deeds to take part in this event.
And so that's what I value about Tzu Chi. It's not sitting on a mountain. It's going out and connecting with real people in the world they live in and doing what we can to help them.
Later, Tzu Chi volunteers organize a flower arrangement class for the participants to experience Tzu Chi's truth, goodness, and beauty. At the end of the day, participants go home with joy and new understanding in their hearts. Meanwhile, in China, steamed longevity bonds were sent from Hua-Lian by plane as gifts for medical staff at the Tzu Chi Suzhou Health Promotion Center. As the Tzu Chi Foundation enters its 49th year, the Tzu Chi Suzhou Grounds organized a volunteer training seminar to commemorate the event. Over 500 volunteers from all corners of China gathered at the grounds, with the farthest coming from Inner Mongolia. Cui Jian is his parents' only child who was born after 1980. In 2012, he invited his parents to join him in the relief work being carried out for flood survivors in Beijing. Since then, his parents have come to understand his desire to be a pure practitioner.
My parents were moved by the scale of Tzu Chi's aid distribution. Then my father said, "You should have told us what you were doing. We would have definitely supported you."
In the wake of Kunming terrorist attack in 2014, Tzu Chi volunteer Du Wei became even more determined to carry out Tzu Chi's missions and get rid of his bad behavior.
In the Tzu Chi family, it's not difficult at all to quit smoking because no one smokes, and we are all busy learning from each other.
He quit drinking and playing mahjong. I wondered if he had made bad friends, so I kept a close eye on him.
Du Boyang from Jilin, a successful businessman, originally hoped to be Tzu Chi's agent in his city. Upon learning how Tzu Chi volunteers act out of selfless love, however, Du changed his mind.
Working as a Tzu Chi volunteer, I have come to realize how little my personal gain means, so I decided to donate to Tzu Chi. Positive
thoughts gather in the venue before they are spread far and wide to help those in need across the country.
In China, 70-year-old Tzu Chi volunteer Cheng Yen from Sichuan's Luoshui was among the recipients of Tzu Chi's aid during the Wenchuan earthquake in 2008. In gratitude, Cheng decided to join the volunteers' ranks. As Cheng suffers from a heart condition, she was unable to receive the blessing personally from Master Cheng Yen in Taiwan. Therefore, she made a commitment to wake up early and watch his Master Cheng Yen's Wisdom at Dawn broadcast on a daily basis.
Washing her face, combing her hair and cleaning the house, by 6:30 each morning, Cheng Yen is good to go. Walking in darkness, the stars are her source of light. Knowing her path, her footsteps are sure and steady. At 7 a.m., Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide meet with the Master via video conferencing for a morning volunteer session. This is also Chen's happiest moment of the day.
I can listen to the Dharma, absorb the Dharma, rid myself of afflictions, and gain wisdom. We will also be able to understand better the Master's teachings.
Chen's home was destroyed in the 2008 Wenchuan earthquake, after which Tzu Chi volunteers brought her hot food and supplies. That love and support has remained with her till this day. Although partially illiterate, Chen enjoys reading Jinzhi publications and cherishes everything she has received from Tzu Chi.
I'm still using it. Look at this bucket. Don't you think it looks as good as new?
Chen treasures each item like a family heirloom, even the distribution notice she received in 2008. In 2012, at 68, Chen successfully completed her volunteer training to become a certified Tzu Chi volunteer. However, her heart condition made it impossible for her to travel to Taiwan and receive the blessing personally from Master Cheng Yen.
My biggest regret is that I haven't been to see the Master in Hong-Lin. I always think about her, so no matter how cold it is, I will never miss the morning volunteer session.
It is that initial aspiration that motivates Chen to strive on. With her heart condition, Chen battles with each step she takes, yet she continues to live up to her promise to meet with the Master via video conferencing each day.
Just one more level to go.
After climbing 4 flights of stairs, Chen immediately rushes to get some air. Chen's life is inseparable from this oxygen concentrator, just like her life is also inseparable from Tzu Chi.
If I didn't get up today, I would have missed my chance to see the Master. That's why I insist on coming here each morning. As long as I am still able to get up, I will always be here.
With Tzu Chi by her side through her most difficult times, Cheng Yen promises to devote the rest of her life to Tzu Chi.
To help students overcome the fears of seeing a dentist, teachers from both the Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Butterworth and the Dai Educare Center in Kuala Lumpur organized a trip to the dentist's office for their students. Let's take a look at how students reacted to the visit.
Seeing the array of dental equipment, some children burst into tears, while others are filled with wonder. Accompanied by teachers and Dai mothers, 30 students of the Dai Educare Center pay a visit to the dentist. Not only are they here to conquer their fears, they're also learning how to take care of their teeth.
The doctor taught me to open my bottom lip and sweep the germs away.
Okay, 下面全部要说，每一颗都要说。
Meanwhile, students of the Tzu Chi Kindergarten in Butterworth are also visiting a dental clinic.
你们喜欢脏脏吗？对了啦，所以一天做几次？2次。对了啦。
Whenever the dentist sees a child with cavities, she uses a fairy tale to teach them to take better care of their teeth.
你要牙齿美美吗？
Do you want your teeth to be beautiful, or do you want your teeth to be dirty?
你要哪一个？
Like the witch in Snow White.
牙齿颜啊？要美美的啦。
You want to be beautiful?
你开始现在
Then you have to start eating your fruits and veggies.
However, there were those that were still terrified. After much persuasion and encouragement, they finally decided to get up on the dental chair.
不用怕，不用，放轻松来，可以的，你一定可以做到的，好不好？
像雅妍老师这样，我就可以看到了。来，哒。
Having conquered their fear and no longer terrified of the dentist, for these children, keeping their teeth healthy and clean is no longer difficult.
We go back to Taiwan at the end of our show. As Mother's Day is around the corner, Tzu Chi volunteers went to Chuchi Borough Xindian District, New Taipei City, to offer local seniors with the health checkup service and delicious vegetarian meals. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for watching Tzu Chi this week. Goodbye.